Right, a little request from a brother by the name of Bobby, who's requested from Dubai. I think he's in Dubai right now, so we have like I think a 6 to 8 hour difference, something stupid like that. So he's requested we talk about what we can expect for BTC, especially on the weekly, on the close and everything, like what we can expect for the future, on how things might look. Okay, so one of the things that I was having a bit of an issue with was sharing the link. Yesterday I couldn't share the link, but today it seems like our bot on Discord is working, so sharing the link to everybody. So guys, if you're here for the first time, my name is Sham, this is 0x5s. The truth is always out there, as I always say. We are going to talk about a few bits and bobs, especially about crypto and what I see in the market right now, and where I would like to see crypto like BTC be this week, like close this week, which is going to be tonight anyway. And this is where I would like to see it, but where it's actually going to be closing. So we're going to look at all of those things and what does it mean for the market. I have kind of talked about it on a few previous streams, so I will talk about it again right now. And let me see where the messages are. So if you are here, don't be shy, say hi, no harm in that. If you are new, do consider subscribing if you like the content. If you don't, it's okay, but if you can hit that like button, it will be awesome, because that way the algorithms will start to kick off. We are doing this new format where we're doing vertical live streams, so you know, to get a bit more exposure, let's just put it this way. So I see SM here, also my brother. I see KR, also my brother, nice to see you. I see Mr. Badass, hey man, awesome, nice to see you. I see Costin here, awesome. So I see a whole bunch of you guys here. KR says he loves the new format, thank you very much. I'm also liking it as well, because obviously it's getting us a lot more exposure. Let's see where it goes, right? So I see Faisal here, salam my brother, nice to see you as well. My brother always comes in and first thing he says is salam. I respect that, honestly. Salam to you, salam to everybody as well. Shalom, salam, good evening, good night, good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is in your country. Let's do this, because we know we're kind of global as well, right? So let's talk about this. Right, let's talk about this. So in the last couple of live streams, I've kind of briefly mentioned how I would really love to see BTC even go to $90,000, right? And a lot of you guys might be thinking, what the hell is this guy talking about? Why would he want to see it go to $90,000? Well, I've kind of talked about why I want to see it there, because the dominance was so high. We want to see BTC dominance fall, right? You know, currently sitting close to about 59. I think it's at 59 right now today. It was at 61 at one stage, right? We don't want to see that. We want to see BTC dominance fall to 40, 30, 35, even lower, even better. Why is it better? It means that BTC price doesn't have to do much, but the altcoins are now recovering. The altcoins are now catching up, right? That's what the dominance means for us. Hence why I said I don't even mind seeing it go to 90k. Now you're going to think, well, 90k, isn't that bad for the market? No, if we went to 99k and we go to 90k, that's only 10%. That's a brilliant correction. That's a brilliant. In crypto, you can expect a 50% correction any day. So for us, that would be an absolute insanity if we did not expect 10%, right? It's, you know, you've got to be completely mad. You've got to be bonkers to not expect a 50% dump. But we're getting a 10%, and I think a 10% is freaking brilliant, right? You know, we're going to take it, right? So 10% correction will bring us to a nice level. However, it doesn't invalidate the trend. So that's another thing you got to look at, right? When you're looking at the trends, when you're understanding trends, right? For us, what we did like a couple of weeks ago, we went to 78k, and then we went to like 84k, and then we went to like 88k. And then like this week we're at 90k, and then we went to like 99k. So when you start looking at that, it doesn't invalidate the trend. That's the key here. As long as we don't go back to 88k, we're super solid. So 90k, I'm being kind with it, right? I'm not even saying we're going to go back and test that the support that we've created, right? Because that's where we bounced off. I'm not even saying that. I hope the lighting and everything's good, guys. Sorry, there is a bit of a glare. I'm not sure, but it's raining outside. This is UK London weather. It's absolute bonkers here. It's windy, stormy, rain, you name it, everything. Is 4:30 p.m. here. It's freaking crazy here. So right, so I'm going to read the chats. I see Maxim here. Awesome, nice to see you here as well, Maxim. So I'm going to read the chats in a bit, right? We're so excited. I know this is a good one. I've been free pretty much all day. As I said to everyone, I said, guys, look, I'm kind of free. If you want me to jump on a live, just let me know, right? So yeah, we're going to talk about this, right? So BTC, 88k is like kind of a technical support zone. But if we don't go there, we're fine. 90k is brilliant, right? Yeah, 88k is our support zone. So as long as we're above that, we're creating another positive candle. It's going to be another green week, right? So it doesn't really calm the market down as much as I would like, because I really want to see the alts move, right? Because guys, even if I'm holding a nice portion in BTC, right, I'm still diversified in multiple other blockchains and multiple other projects. And the problem I'm seeing is they haven't come back to their previous all-time high. Some of them haven't even, you know, believe it or not, some of them have not even come to their, like, the middle point, the 50% of their all-time high. I mean, what's going on, right? So we need these coins to recover, right? So for me, I think if BTC can move sideways for a couple of days, right? So coming back to what Bobby asked, right? If we can move sideways for a couple of days, right? So on a daily trend, right, we do a little bit of a sideways movement, because the trend is the higher time frame, the trend is still valid. If we can do that, I think we're going to give a lot of room for alts to move. And I think we had a good example yesterday. Even today at some stage, we actually saw a good example. While BTC was trying to decide what it needs to do, whether it wants to go back to the 98k, 97k, or dip down, whichever one it wants to do. And I had a feeling it's going to dip anyway, because I mentioned it on the stochastic RSI 3-day, it was overbought, which meant that we're going to bleed out for a couple of days. I mentioned this on, I think it was yesterday's video, and I said, look, for the next 2-3 days, we are going to bleed out a little bit, right? So again, I'm not making a prediction here, it's just the charts, right? I'm just translating what the charts are saying. So the chart did say that we need to bleed out, right? Of course, the lower time frame you go, it's a little bit more inaccurate. So when you start looking at the daily, the 12 hours and this and that, it becomes a little bit more inaccurate. Of course, there is some accuracy depending on what you're looking for, but it becomes a little bit more inaccurate when you're trying to do predictions or calls, right? So for me, when I called out, I said, look, BTC looks like it's going to come down, and I kind of mentioned this. If you go back to last week's video, I think similar time last week, I mentioned, and I'm not sure who it was, I think it was Bobby who asked the question, are we going to see a dip, right? And I said, look, probably next week we're going to see a dip, and here we are. But that's all on the charts. It's not me just kind of just calling random numbers and then waiting for them to connect the dots. I don't do dot connections, right? So we've had whatever we had to have. In fact, on the recent Friday video, the Saturday video, I said the same thing as well. On the live streams, I said the exact same thing as well. So guys, stop loss is your best friend. Why would I promote stop loss? And you guys know very well, there's a time when I'm like, you know, F the fundamentals, right? Just pumpermentals, get in and just buy, don't worry about anything. And then there's a time when I'll be like, guys, your best friend, stop loss, stop loss, stop loss. Why? Because I want you to protect your funds, and I wanted to scoop up as many, so you get exited out and then buy cheaper, buy the dip, right? So that's, you know, that's, I'm gonna read the chats in a bit, right? So that's what I'm always looking out for, basically, so I can, you know, kind of tell you guys what to expect, you know, in a day, 2 days, maybe a week, whenever. Like, have some sort of an expectation. Whether it's true or not, that's a whole different story. Whether it happens or not, it's a different story, because we don't have a freaking crystal ball, right? I don't have a crystal ball, right? So it's not going to happen. But at least your mindset is like, you're ready. You're like, okay, whatever happens, anything that happens, I'm going to turn this one off. Whatever happens, your expectations are great. It's like, okay, my expectations are that something might go south, and I'm ready for it, I'm prepped for it. That's all it is. I'm just trying to prepare everybody, nothing more. Again, if you're new here, consider subscribing, hit that like button, smash that like, get the algorithm rolling. All of you guys here, smash that like button, get that algorithm rolling. My name is Sham, this is 0x5, the truth is always out there. My videos are a statement to all the truth that everything I've ever said, that's the truth, basically. So when I say truth is out there, yes, some of these are to do with other conspiracies and whatnot, but mostly to do with what I've said here. So the truth is what I've just said here. Truth is what I've said in every other video, and most of the videos here are continuations of what we talk about. And of course, a lot of the time what you find is I come online and I'm actually answering community questions, right? So we have a community on Discord. I do have a link below which says, I think it says buy me a coffee link, but that has all my links in there. And if you go to all my links, I think there's a Discord link there. You're welcome to join. It's completely free, it doesn't cost you anything, right? And a like, thumbs up doesn't cost you anything as well. So so we're going to talk about other stuff now. For me, when I'm looking at the market and I'm saying worst case scenario, we go back and test the 88k, is that a bad thing? technically it's not. It's actually a good thing. Means what happens is for the future. So again, I'm going way back, way forward into future. I'm saying a month from here, 2 months from here, that 88k can become a key support area, because right now it's a support, but it's a weak support. Every candle that we've had are weak supports, right? So last week's candle, the previous one, so last 4 weeks, the candles we've created have very weak supports. Right, so in order for us to make them stronger, we've got to go and test them a few times, right? And if we can hold those supports, they are solid supports, right? And they give us a better idea of what to expect in the future, right? Does that make sense, right? So in order to trade, we got to do this. So that's how I look at this. Now, if BTC can move sideways, right? If BTC can move sideways, then I believe the alts have a great opportunity. As I said, they've already proven that they can. Whenever BTC goes a little bit sideways, alts actually start to start pumping, right? And I'm talking about big major legacy coins, right? The top 100 coins, they start to pump. That's what we want to see, because they can recover the market. And I've mentioned this many times as well. If they start recovering, right, we could potentially see a $4 to $5 trillion market cap, because that's what I'm expecting. I think there's $2 trillion just sitting on the table in the alts, right? Because they haven't recovered back to their all-time high. If they can recover back to the all-time high, right, and that's new coins, old coins, every single other coin out there except BTC, I think there's minimum 2 trillion, if not more, right? That's sitting on the table that needs to be recovered in valuation and in total market cap, right? So I'm hoping that happens. And if that does, then yeah, it should be absolutely freaking brilliant, right? Now, I am going to be looking at one asset, especially for the alts, right? So on the trading view, when I'm looking at the total market cap, the total price, I wouldn't want to see it fall below 3 trillion, because that could cause a little bit of an issue, right? It's a psychological issue. By the way, it's not mathematical, right? You know, a lot of the things we do calculated here, it's not mathematical, but it's a psychological thing, right? I think there may be a bit of an issue there. So chaos saying say is on fire. Yes, so even though the market's bleeding, we can see that some coins are taking an opportunity to actually get out there and start pumping, right? So I would say ignore this, even if it goes to 90k. And I wasn't joking when I said that, right? That I would love to see it to go to 90k. And here I am explaining why I want to see it go to 90k, because that really does help us in the long run, right? So for the market, entire market, it will help us a little bit more. So I'm going to read some of the chats and see what's going on here, if there's any questions or anything. KR says, this is my favorite channel, real and raw. Always, my brother, always real, raw. There's no scripts, none of this business. Literally, I mean, like moments before, Bobby said, let's talk about Liverpool football, right? He wanted to talk about football. I said, look, I don't know anything about football. And I'm being honest, I don't know anything about sports at all, right? Because I don't follow sports. The only sports for me, the only thing I like going bouncing up and down is candlesticks, right? That's the only thing I enjoy watching that goes up and down. Other than that, I'm not a fan of watching men run around with the ball or whatever, right? Honestly, no, I'm not. I maybe excite some people, but not me. Sorry, you know, I'm not going to go down that route. So it's just me. It's not happening, right? Thanks, bro. Love your videos. Also, my brother, I also love you guys because you come in and make this video more interesting as well. KR is going to be shilling some memes, I believe. So I see Bubble here. Oh my god, Bubble's here also, my brother. Nice to see you as well. Bubble usually comes later on because he's kind of busy at work at around this time, but it's nice to see you here too. Nice. Bobby, I've had a few days off and aged me 5 years from holding some ones for now, and once they pump, then I'm selling. Go again, bro. Plenty of. So he's talking about meme coins. So recently, basically, KR on our Discord group shared a whole bunch of coins, right? A bunch of meme coins on the Solana ecosystem. And to be honest, when he shared them, they pump like hell, right? So some of these coins, they did like 10-15x. I think the highest one was like 20x, right? If I'm correct, KR, correct me if I'm wrong. I think the one that did the highest was about 20x. Now during that time, a lot of people got in with very small change and obviously enjoyed the benefits, like even as low as 2-3x, right? So as low as 2-3x all the way up to 10-15-20x as well, depending where. I didn't catch any of the 20x, but I did catch a 13x, right? It's just a matter of when I saw it, right? So for me, it was a 13x, right? There was one of them, and there was another one that did, I think, 500% or 600%. That one also done about 1200, but I couldn't catch it on the 1200, so I exited when it was about 500. So we're talking about these basically, and of course when you sell out, you take your initial, you take some profits, then you end up keeping some just in case, and they're the ones he's talking about how it's aged in 5 years, because that's what it is. The ecosystem is so fast moving that you got to get in, get out as soon as you can, right, and fast as you can, and especially take your initial out and a whole bunch of profit if you can, because that's how it works. So I'm also holding some of those coins, some of the profit money that I left behind. I'm still holding them, and I'm planning to exit out of them. So, you know, for me, as soon as I think the markets calm down a little bit, because that's what it is right now, what we need the markets to calm down. If the market calms down, then I believe then the meme coin ecosystem and everything starts kicking off again, because they thrive when everybody's looking the other way. They thrive, right? So that's what you got to understand. And of course, there are plenty of projects out there that are still doing 100%, 1000%, even 3,000%. I'm not even joking. They will do that. But my only recommendation, and not a financial advice, you do whatever you want to do, obviously. My only recommendation is if you get in and if you've done a 2x, 3x, 4x, 10x, 20x, whatever you've managed to do, you've been fortunate enough to have that, don't hold too long, because those funds don't last that long. So take your initial out, right? Take some profit out and then see what happens, right? So that's what it is, right? So let's see what happens. Maxim says already that dark outside. Yes, Maxim, around 4 p.m. ish here in central London it gets dark, right? It's technically nighttime, all the lights and everything on. So yeah, and this is something like 4:30 something. So can you imagine, this is nighttime for us? And then, you know, yeah, this is kind of crazy. So KR bought some chili girl. Good luck, bro. Good luck. Chili girl. Oh my god, boys are they're shilling their coins. Go for it, go for it, go for it. Okay, right, let's talk about alts bleeding. First also says alts bleeding, XRP, XLM, ETC. Not entirely. So understand this, right? Remember what I said, when BTC starts to dump 1%, everything else dumps 5%, 10%. That's the effect. That's expected. So when we see something like this happening, it's basically, there are some people out there, especially like institutional grade traders and XYZ, your traditional traders, let's just say traditional traders, right? When they see BTC dump, right, or the market suddenly start moving south, panic kicks in. They're not experienced enough. They're not hardened like we are. We've been battle hardened, right, being in this industry for the last 6, 7, 8 years, right? So you know what I mean? I know some guys probably here longer than that. I'm not, you know, but I'm not going to say how long. Right? For myself, I've been here since 2015, so that means 9 years for me, right? So I've been in it 9 years, so I'm freaking battle hardened. I've seen 3 cycles or 4 cycles technically now, right? So I've seen so many cycles, and seeing it and experience it, you start to kind of desensitize yourself. So I'm completely desensitized, hence why I can be so calm. I can even call and say, you know what, we're sitting at 99k, I want to see it go to 90k. I can turn around and say that. But a lot of the new institutional grade traders, they don't know. All they know is cryptocurrency is volatile. You can have 10% up one day and 20% down the other day. That's all they know. So in their head, they're thinking, shit, we got to exit, we got to pull out right now. So that's what they're doing, right? And they're just panicking, nothing more. So don't worry too much about it. The market structure is important, because remember, I don't follow the news. I don't follow what other people say. I don't follow anything except the chart. And the chart says the trend is up, right? So in the next 1 or 2 days, right, I would say 24 hours, 48 hours possible, right? Watch what the numbers do for you, right? As long as BTC calms down, because all it has to do is calm down. That's what I've been saying so far. Calm down. As soon as it calms down, watch how the other alts start to pump harder than you've seen before. So if you've seen a 10%, 20% pump, you'll expect a 50% pump. All right. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're sitting at, where are we, XRP? Let's have a look at XRP. XRP 136 right now, 136. I wouldn't be surprised if we get like all of a sudden everyone comes back, markets calm down, everyone's got the signal, market's not going to bleed out, we're still fine, we're still safe, the bull market's not over. I wouldn't be surprised if XRP jumps from here to 260. Do you see what I mean? And if it does that, that's already beating our target of 198, number one. And then on top of that, now it's targeting towards its $3 whatever high it had. It's heading towards there. You see what I mean? So in order for the market to propel and the market to move, we need BTC to calm down. Because BTC, like I did, there's a thumbnail out there, right? I did that. BTC could be the end of everything, right? Because there was so much focus going into that one coin, so much attention going into that one coin, and it just kept on pumping. Technically, almost went into a parabola. I'm grateful to whoever or the entire market for putting a break to it, right? Stepping on it and say, right, hold on, break, stop, right? Because you're moving too fast. Moving too fast doesn't help anybody, because when it moves too fast, at some stage, someone has to take profit. If it's not going to be you, it's going to be somebody else. And when they take the profit, if it's a large whale taking out profit, they'll crash the market. They'll just take profit, but they will end up crashing the price, and that could be a big crash for us, right? We don't want that. So in order for us to move up gradually and slowly, take baby steps, right, and let everything else grow with us, we need BTC to settle down. And I think if it does, you're going to see some big moves coming. And market for me isn't over. This, even now, it's not enough. 96,000 whatever, 96,649. Believe me, even this is not enough. We need it to go to 90k. Right? 90k. We need to go towards the 88k. Test that support, right? Test that support. As long as we don't break through, it's fine. And even if it does break through, do you know what? I'll still accept it, right? Because we need to find a greater support. So as long as we fall down and we find a support, that's going to be a key level for us to focus on. Because right now we have nothing to focus on. We're in freaking price discovery. I mean, do you understand what price discovery is? It's like, it could be anywhere. Could be anything. Where's the support? We need support. So that's all I'm saying. So Maxim says the only thing I'm worried about if United States together with NATO are going to start a war. Doesn't matter if Russia or Iran. That's gonna be devastating. I like what you said there. So what Maxim said is the only thing he's worried about is if United States together with NATO are going to start a war, right? Haven't they already started it? So they're already poking. That's the thing, right? I don't like being political here. I don't want to give my political opinions, but I'll share a little bit here, right? Haven't they already done it? Isn't that what they do? Isn't that the entire motto that they have, right? We will go and poke everybody. We just want to be control freaks, right? Because that's what it is. USA has become this dictatorship, right? Which wants to dictate to other countries, right? Who cares what these guys do, right? Who cares what they do in their country, right? None of our business, right? If you can't come to a solution on a table, then take it to a boxing ring and deal with it there. But that's not how USA operates, because USA wants war. Its military budget increases every year. They've never gone stagnant. Do you know that, right? Every year they add billions and billions and billions, hundreds of billions, right? And there's probably more we don't know about, but they're constant. These are the official numbers. Like 2025, they're adding $900 billion more to the military budget. Go and research it. 900 billion. I mean, hold on, why are you adding more? Well, we know why you're adding more, because you need, right? You need more weapons and this, that, whatever. So you're getting ready for something. So I think they're already starting it now. The question is, how does the opposition, right? So whoever picks is obviously the attacker. So how does the opposition react to it? That's the question here. Because the only way it's going to be a full blown out war is if the opposition, right, decides to say, right, that's it, right, we're going to go head to head. Let's do this. Right? Do you know what I mean? Let's do this. Now, whether they collaborate, like Russia and Iran collaborate, that's a whole different story. Or whether they go solo, that's a whole different story, right? But this could be the beginning of something big. And of course, if they collaborate, it's a world war all over again. I wouldn't call it World War III, because I think World War III is already happening. But I think it will be World War IV for us, right? And that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. And I'm not even concerned about the nukes, right? Because that's the last thing we were worried about. It's not the nukes. I don't think, honestly, I'm not worried about the nukes, right? Because we've talked about it before, and I've come to a realization, I'm like, you know what? Does nukes even matter? Because if everybody presses the button, you think someone's going to wait around? Everyone's going to press the button, right? Mutually assured destruction. Everybody destroys everybody. Boom, gone. Right? So that doesn't bother me. But you know what bothers me is innocent people are going to be dragged in between, and all of those bombshells and bollocks that they're going to basically, excuse my language, but kind of when I'm getting annoyed I start swearing, but all of the bombshells and all the artillery, whatever they're going to drop, right, in each country, I don't care who they are, right? I'm not favoring anybody here, right? They're not going to be dropped on the leaders. Then they're going to be dropped on civilians. right? Civilians, innocent people who had nothing to do with it. You got an issue with someone, a leader, whatever, take him in a boxing ring and box it out. Don't bring it to the people. That's what I'm worried about. Do you know what I mean? So many people are going to get hurt, right? And ultimately, do you know what? In war, like the like, you know, oh, this party won or that party won, right? You know, you fight for a decade or 2 decades or whatever, and somebody won. Is it really a win? Did you really win? Or is it just ego? Do you know what I mean? So it's a tough one, man. It's a tough one. Maxim says market will recover. Markets, whether they recover or not, it doesn't really matter. Because listen, it depends on a bigger agenda, right? So let's just put it this way: if the world goes to belly ups, right, and everyone wants to fight everybody, money doesn't even matter anymore. Money, stocks, bonds, shares, none of these matter. What are you going to do with your wealth? Do you know what I mean? Unless you're really, really wealthy, then you've already got assets other than money saved elsewhere. Large corporations, companies, they're just going to go down. Do you know what I mean? And it's going to be renewed by something else. It's going to be a whole new order, new world order. Right? But no, it's going to definitely be something new, because something else is going to take over. You know, we don't know what. I can't really say what, right? But the way I look at it is, if entire world goes, nothing matters, stocks, bonds and shit, what are you going to do? You're going to sit there on your desk trading, or you're going to try and hide from the bomb that's about to drop on your head? Do you know what I mean? Right? And Maxim, I believe, if I'm correct, I believe you're from near Russia or Ukraine. I believe you're from there. So obviously you know the effects of all of this, right? So whoever's fighting, the leaders are fighting each other, the people are being affected, right? People are being affected. And do these people who are being affected, do they have the time to sit on a computer and do some trading? Look for stocks, bonds and shares, or let's see what's cheap today, what's bleeding out. Are they? No, they're trying to survive just another day. Do you know what I mean? So none of these matter, honestly. None of these matter. But that's why I said, for me, it's more emotional. The way I feel, I'm like, you know what? Nukes drop, I don't really care. It drops, I'm gone. Boom, it's over, right? Happy days, right? You know, maybe I see the light or I don't. One or the other, right? But it's over, so it doesn't really matter. But when it comes to the people, that I'm going to witness. I'm going to witness, whether it's going to be on TV, through media, whatever. I'm going to see some of that. I'm going to hear about it. Even if I don't look at the news, I don't watch the news anyway. I will hear about it. Maybe some friends and family will come and talk to me. I will hear about it. And when I hear about it, I'll become emotional, right? So, you know, and you feel helpless, because even if you're in a position to help somebody financially, money, this one, how many are you going to help? So you realize it's never enough, right? And then you realize, right, whatever happens, one party loses and another party wins. Nobody won. Nobody won. The only thing that won was the ego, nothing else. It was your freaking ego, nothing more, right? So I'm not even gonna go there, man. I'm not even gonna go there. But yeah, you are correct, right? If it does happen, we might see a stoppage in the market in XYZ, which could lead to a black swan event. But I think the black swan event is going to affect more of the traditional traders. So if anyone's going to pull the string, or if anyone's going to, you know, pull the plug, right? Let's just say pull the plug, right? And create a black swan event, it's going to be institutional traders. Hence why, since the institutional traders have started to come in since 2014, 2017, 2018, more and more have come on board into the crypto sphere. I've always been against it. I said they don't help us. They're actually the worst type of people for us to have. Because when they came in, what did they want? Regulation. They got whatever they want, right? They got that. And what they're doing is they're driving away retail. And then guess what's going to happen? There's a cycle to this. There's a phase, right? Once they drive as many shrimps out of there, then what they're going to do, when they own majority of it or whatever they want to control, then what you'll notice is a lot of these cryptocurrencies are going to be shut down completely with some sort of a legislation or whatever. They're going to figure it out, right? They're going to block a lot of these. So that's what they're going to do, because that's what institutional want. They want control. When they have the control, eventually they're going to sell it back to you, right? 10 times the price. Because institution doesn't come in to make 1x, 2x and whatever. They don't come with the hopium. They don't come with skepticism. They don't come and speculate on the price. They already know what they want to make. I've entered with 100 G's, right? I want to make that into 10 mil, right? I want to make that into a mil, whatever, 10x. They've already planned that. It's exact same mindset as venture capital and hedge fund organizers have. It's the same strategy. You come in with XYZ amount of money. I'm willing to lose all of it. However, on the upside, I want to make minimum 10x. Because if I don't, then my risk, it doesn't outweigh my loss. You know what I mean? So it's one of those kind of things. So yeah, that's what it is. So yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. Costin says, hit that like. Awesome, my brother. I'm not sure what Faisal was replying to anyway. So Faisal says, by the way, Sham, thoughts on back in the day XRP. I believe the only coin to ever flip BTC in the market cap. No, that's not true. That's not true. XRP has been around since 2013. That is fine, but it hasn't flipped the market cap. That's not true. BTC has always been the top. Yeah, so yeah, it hasn't happened. No, bro. BTC in I think 2012, if I'm correct. So this is me just going from memory. I do have the chart there. I can go on the chart, but I think my chart is, the particular chart I'm using is from 2014, so I won't be able to see that far back unless I use a BitMEX chart or something, which I don't quite like anyway. But that's not the point anyway. I think it was in 2012 when BTC went first time, broke the dollar mark and actually went to $100 or $200, right? And then it dumped again. The first time XRP even went to $3 was in 2017, and during that time it actually went to $1 and whatever. Now during that time, if you weigh them both together, technically the number of coins BTC had available, right? And if you go back in time and say when BTC was $1, technically XRP was worth more because of the number of coins they had, technically, right? But in valuation, no. So you can go and check that anyway. So that's that. But no, they've never had that kind of a market cap. It's all to do with the number of coins, basically. But do you know what I believe? There are plenty of opportunities in the market for some of these altcoins, XRP, Ethereum, Solana, Binance even, right? There's opportunities in this market for these coins to actually overtake BTC's market cap. They can actually do that, because think about it, there's only like 20 something million or nearly 20 million coins out there, Bitcoin, right? Binance has 210, right? XRP, I can't tell you off the top of my head how many million coins they have, right? Ethereum has a lot, like almost 1 billion tokens out there, but I believe they're kind of being deflationary, not quite. So they are going to become deflationary at some stage, but not quite yet, but like 1 billion or something. Anyway, something stupid number, right? So technically, maybe not 1 billion, maybe less. I can't remember off the top of my head. But what I'm saying is technically these guys could be that $2 trillion asset. Do you know what I mean? They could be. That's what I'm saying. There's money on the table right now. And I believe that any one of these coins can take a bit of that market share, right? And at some stage, even be the #1 dominant coin. I actually see a future that one of these coins could become the #1 dominant coin. And there's a reason why I see that future. And I'm going to explain this to you briefly here. That will make total sense, right? The more and more institutions coming to the market, they are not going to come in and try and trade your volatility. That's not their game. They have other motives. And let me explain one or two of those motives. Some of them is to do with taxation. So when an institution comes in and buys, it's an expense. It's a company expense. So they can write that off against their taxation. That's one. Okay. Also, when they buy, they don't mind the price dropping, because that, again, taxation, right? However, they don't really want to see the price go up either, because going up means taxation. They got to pay taxes, right? So what these institutions are trying to do, like the best they're trying to do, get it to a level where they can stabilize it. Now, if they own, like say the Fortune 500, all 500 companies come together and they all own a portion of BTC, they can technically stabilize the price, right? So if they stabilize the price, then check this out. 14 years ago, Satoshi Nakamoto had a vision where this could be, right, like some sort of a currency, a reserve currency, right? And that's what many of his followers started to believe, that it could be a reserve currency. And we know it's digital gold. We call it digital gold. We've given it that attribute. We said BTC is the digital gold. It's limited. In fact, it's better than gold. So now that there's not enough physical gold out there, right, because there's a lot of paper gold, institutions want to see this as the digital gold. Hence why they want to get as many, but they don't want gold that fluctuates. They want gold that's stable. That's where the problem happens with the market cap, because as soon as you stabilize it, whether it be $1 trillion, $10 trillion, $20 trillion, that's not the case here. It doesn't matter what the number is. Once they stabilize it, it really can't go higher anymore. Maybe it has a little bit of an inflation added to it. So every couple of years it goes up 1 or 2%, just like normal gold does or normal silver does, right? Just similar way. So they make it into an actual commodity, right? And they stabilize the price. They control the narrative. At that stage, any one of the altcoins that we have, a global leading altcoin, right? So I'm not talking about Bitcoin. A global leading altcoin has the opportunity to take over BTC, has the opportunity to go on its own way, be completely decentralized and take out BTC, take out the dominance, right? And become the next dominant coin. And when that becomes the next dominant coin, I will be using that chart to navigate the market. Because right now I use BTC chart to navigate the market. I will be using that chart. And I've said that many times, and I'm saying this again as well. And I believe there's great opportunities out there. I'm telling you. Maxim says, guess what? The United States military didn't pass 7th audit in a row. Why would they? Even when, listen, when the auditors go there, when you're talking about military, right? Obviously, I don't want to talk too much about it. I'm sure YouTube and this and that, they probably won't like it. But what I'm saying is, when they get the auditors, who are the auditors? It's people in house. You know, who's asking for the audit? Yes, the Senate, the Congress, they're asking for it, right? But they're just a bunch of puppets there anyway. Who gives a damn about them? This proves that they are not doing it, because the military is separate. Right, what you got to understand, the military is separate. Military is not the country, because if the military was part of the country and, you know, part of whatever the whole organization, let's just say government, right? If they had any power over the military, then they could. But the US military, as a fact, you should know this as well, and you can fact check this, they are private corporations, right? They're private. The 3rd battalion, this battalion, that battalion, this corporation, that corp, these are all separate entities, right? So yeah, you might be able to hold one person accountable, right? They might have one oversight, but ultimately they're separate companies, right? They're private companies. Would you believe that? They're more like a militia, right? That's what they are. They're private militia. That's what they are. So they operate in a whole different system. Hence why you're not going to get what you want. And the people who are shouting about it, oh, give us an audit, give us an audit. Well, what's going to happen is, last time they were pushed for an audit, and I'm going to say this is going to be the last time I'm going to say this, first and last time on a live video, I'm going to say this, and I'm sure my video is going to get wrecked for this, right? And I'm sure my channel probably will be taken out for this. I'm not even freaking joking. The last time they asked for an audit and the auditors did almost have all the papers and everything, a plane was flown into the Pentagon, right? A plane was flown into 2 buildings. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it out there for you guys to figure out what I'm talking about. Go and fact check, right? There's a great documentary which was done about a decade or 15 years after it happened, right? I know it's a sensitive thing, but you got to really open your mind and start looking at it. And you start this documentary, they talked about it. They were like, at that time, there was a few issues that were quite serious. And funnily, all of a sudden, the problems just got tucked under the rug. No one even talked about it, because there's another bigger agenda to deal with now, right? And it's all smoke screens, right? So sometimes when you get too close, something will be created, a diversion will be created, and everyone's focusing on the diversion. If you have a different type of a mindset, you can stand back and see what it is, right? So you can see the reality and be like, hold on, what's going on here? And those are the people who made that video. So I'm sure you know what subject I'm talking about. I'm not naming anything, but there's a documentary, a great documentary. You'll see it's got the most amount of views. In fact, it's been banned on YouTube many times as well, but many people still upload it. They talk about it. What was being covered, because it was a cover-up, right? What were they covering? And then how did they divert the attention? So, and the diversion was basically global war on terror, right? So leave it there. What was that? So SM says we need IFTY, not the crack for us minions. What? I don't know what you're talking about. Maxim says, yeah, my grandmother lives in Odessa, Ukraine, and missiles and bombs exploding over her head almost daily. She's barely holding on. Exactly, you see what I mean? This is the reality, right? Faisal says, Sham, you're too funny, man. Goes a nuke and happy days, I'm gone. It's true though. Okay, hold on. A nuke drops on you, right? Some country you've had an issue with, you're fighting with some country, and each one of you hold some nukes, and then both countries say, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna basically press the red button and let's go. You know it's coming towards you. They know it's going towards them. What are you gonna do about it? Run for a shelter? Well, what shelter? There's none made for you. Okay, maybe run underground or whatever. In the UK, run underground, fair play. But a lot of these bombs are designed to be bunker busters, right? They're supposed to penetrate, 1 or 2 miles or probably more underground. Are you going to be safe there? You're going to be buried alive. Do you know what? I might as well say happy days. Fuck it. Let's go. Like, make me a cup of coffee. Let me drink to this, right? Do you know what I mean? Or, let me have my last feast. Let me have my last dinner. It's coming. What am I going to do? You know what I mean? So I'd rather accept it and die a happy man. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not trying to be funny here. Just being honest here. Honestly, think about it. You know what the outcome's going to be. You know it's coming. Right? Now here's a fun fact. A nuke comes towards me. I know there's 2 options, right? It either misses me or probably lands somewhere near, but I'm going to probably lose an arm and a leg, right? Would I want that life? No, I'd rather want it to go. I would want it to end. I don't want to live with an arm and a leg missing. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather be gone, because for me, it would be in a blink of an eye. I'm gone. Boom. I was there and I'm not. So I'd accept that over losing an arm and a leg and then carrying on with life. That's a miserable life. I don't want to live that life. So I see Valdon here. Also, my brother, nice to see you. Maxim says she is in transportable, so she can't take her so I can't take her out here. Only thing I can do is support her financially, and guess what, the price in Ukraine is over the it will be. That's the reality, because people have hoarded, right? So there are people out there who planned for it and they've hoarded certain equipment, material, or essentials, right? And they're going to sell it. So think about it. This is the reality that I've been talking about. So you're kind of explaining that reality. These are the realities we need to understand, right? What can we do if something breaks out? Money, to a certain extent. What happens when money's not is enough? What happens if nobody wants your crypto? What happens? You know what I mean? Ultimately, there comes a point where whoever holds some sort of a commodity or an asset or something that is tradable, that's more valuable. And this is what's happened. So these guys have hoarded whatever, they're stockpiled, right? Probably stockpiled, or even, some of these guys, here's the fun part. There are dodgy people out there. So like other countries send out aid. So in aid, they will send food and this and that also. So it's not always money. They don't send money in aid, right? Money usually goes to the government in order to fund them, if that's required. Mostly, for example, in the case of Ukraine, I don't think money has directly gone there other than to purchase weapons and XYZ. So that's that. But mostly weapons have been sent directly. That's a different story. However, aid, food and all sorts of other essentials has been sent to there. Plane loads, right? Planes and planes loads of essentials has been sent there. And what happens is there are some people out there in a circle, like, they have a little circle. They hold on to them. And now they're charging people because they're benefiting off it. So that's the kind of dodginess that goes on, right? But of course, if you're in a local community or something, then it's a whole different story. You'd rather start doing barter, because a barter system will be much more beneficial to you than just finances. But that's the reality, my brother. That's the reality. People are being affected. So you here in the US, you're in the US. You in the US are being affected financially, right? Because of what's happening in Ukraine, where your grandmother's there. So you're trying to support her, right? Think about it. You're being affected, right? So of course your grandmother's being affected as well. No, and it's sad. That's what I mean. This is messes with my emotions. So I want to talk about this, man. Um, um, Maxim says, you definitely correct about the US military. It's mercenaries if you think about it. No, they're actually registered as private corporations. It's not one military. It's not a national military. The military is not national. Understand this. It's not. You have to say, for example, if it was one military, then if you say, I want to go and become a paratrooper, and hold on, you are a paratrooper, so you should know this. You was a paratrooper, or I think you trained for it. You should know this. You know more about the US military than I do, so you know how this works, right? So they're private corporations, they're private companies, and they do that because that way they can account for things in a different way, right? So Maxim, you know, you should know better because you are, or you were involved in military. So, who am I talking to? I don't need to tell you, bro, you know. Faisal says, can you name the documentary? Unfortunately, I can't, but I can search for it because I have watched it, so it's probably in my watch list somewhere. It's a documentary about 9/11, right? Just search 9/11 documentary and you'll find it. I didn't want to say 9/11, but yeah, I said 9/11. Ryan Wiggle here. Also nice to see you here. If you want receipts for what's saying, literally just look MU MicroStrategy stock chart, Sailors Company. I swear you, he's pulling the Bezos, shorting his own shit chart. I believe he is, but here's the fun part, right? I like what you said about MicroStrategy. I talk about MicroStrategy, so I love MicroStrategy for the fact that he's gone out publicly, hyped the market up, and he's actually bought XYZ amount of Bitcoin. I'm proud of him, right? I respect him for doing what he's doing. But I also see how cunning he is, right? Because he bought all of those Bitcoin, not with his money. He hasn't paid a penny from his pocket, right? He's taken investors' money. He's managed to convince investors, taken their money, right, to buy Bitcoin to keep in his own wallet or whatever wallet, right? And that's the part I look at. I'm like, how silly can you be? But it makes sense because what institutions are doing, or what other investors in his company, because by the way, you can't go as a normal person, you can't invest in MicroStrategy. That's how hilarious. You can probably buy the stocks on an open market, but you can't directly go to his company. Only other institutions. So can you imagine this, right? So they've created this inner circle. And these people are saying, well, regardless whether he takes our money and goes and buys Bitcoin or not, we're investing in his company and we have the opportunity to liquidate whenever we want, right? So they're doing the kind of the same thing. Another company that did it before them was Grayscale BTC, but Grayscale BTC was more times. It was like, I think it was like 6 months. So you invest and you can't come out until your 6 months is down the line, right? Or 6 months is over. And 6 months down the line, your the price of BTC depended, like, so if the BTC price was down, you got less than you invested, and if the price of BTC was up, you got a little bit more, right? But you never made the big gains. With MicroStrategy, what he's been doing is, obviously he's bought BTC with people's money. Then what he's done, he's given more shares, so he's allocated more shares and he's sold more shares. And because he sold more shares, he's increased the valuation of his company because now there's got XYZ amount of shareholders. Then what he's done, he's leveraged his company, right? And then he said, I want a loan. So he got a loan, and the loan for whatever percent he got, right? Really like almost 0%, right? So he got a loan. And then he done the maths. He said, well, BTC is going to be worth 5x more. I pay this and I still keep 4x. And he sold that to his clients. And by the way, it's a brilliant strategy. I respect him for the strategy, right? You know, it's not a micro strategy, it's a freaking major strategy. So that strategy works. Of course, he's managed to fill up a room and convince people to do this, but of course, selected people, right? So for me, yes, he's a hero in a sense, and he's not a hero in another sense, because what you just said, that yes, he will trade his own shares and stocks, and he make a whole shit ton of money. Because think about it. In history, there's not many companies who actually physically don't do anything. His company physically doesn't trade anything. Right? And they took a company from, I think it was 900 million to 9 billion. I don't know how much it's worth now, in a very short period of time, just after he made that announcement. So he got the exposure, right? He knew exactly what he was doing. So whoever his marketing team are, they're great, because he went out there on random YouTubes and this and that, and he was doing his little marketing stunts, right? and he's talking about it, and the lines are like well rehearsed, right? Honestly, well rehearsed. Like he's quoting certain books and this and that, and I'm thinking, dude, you done your homework because you know exactly what to say and how to say it. And the best part is, what you'll understand is, if you look at all the YouTube channels and he's been on, I want you to notice this, because I've noticed it. Like on the second or the third time, I noticed it immediately. Everyone's asking the same questions, and when that happens, it means, to me at least, it means it's a script. They're only asking specific questions, and then normally when he starts talking, he's on a roll. He's just talking on his own. He's just talking on his own. Where's that real question? Where's that hard question? Because if I was able to interview, I would ask him that hard question, right? How much of that was your money? All of that promises you're making, I'm never going to sell it for another 100. Whose money is it? And how does it work, right? Or can I invest in MicroStrategy? Because these are hard questions that people aren't asking. Those are the things I want to ask. I understand what all the media coverage you're getting, great, so look, end of the day, if he's benefiting his company, great, why not, right? I'm not going to say too much about that. Faisal says, I'm actually laughing out loud here. Why, bro? Why are you laughing out loud? Ryan says, if Saylor really was buying Bitcoin through MicroStrategy and BlackRock, largest or top holder of both Micro and Bitcoin, so sideline Bitcoin dominance as of late, how could Micro MU be dropping out the sky? That's a whole different story. You see, when you're looking at shares, right? So how would I explain this? Right, okay, let me explain this, right? I think I've kind of explained it here. MicroStrategy has borrowed, so has sold stocks and bonds and shares, sold his shares, company shares, which he doesn't care if it goes to zero, number one, right? Because it's just paper money. So he sold paper money to buy Bitcoin. And then it gets worse. That Bitcoin he has is not in MicroStrategy's wallet. He's put it in a whole separate wallet. He's even hinted, he said the best way to make sure that nobody can find those is you memorize the seed phrase, 12 words, you memorize the seed phrase and go in the middle of an ocean. He said that, by the way, you can find an interview where he says that. He said, go into the middle of an ocean and then just drop it, right? So then nobody can come and say, where is it? I've lost the seed phrase. He said that. Why did he say that? Because if it's in a institution or if it's in MicroStrategy and whatever reason the government wants to go and snoop around or whatever, right? And there's some sort of a legal injunction, or they subpoena him or they call him up to the courts, then by legally he has to tell them where the crypto is, like an exchange, for example. So if Coinbase was pulled in and Coinbase lost the battle, Coinbase has to expose where all of the Bitcoin are being kept. Similar way, he would have to do the same. But he hasn't done that because he's only sold people a promise on paper, which is MicroStrategy, and probably people are seeing through it now and they're like, hold on, we need to start dumping this shit because this is bollocks, right? Because he's got the BTC, he's making fucking, excuse my language, he's making 400-500% because he's been buying it cheap, right? So he's made 400%. What have we made? $10, $20, maybe $100, maybe $200 on our shares? Hold on, what's going on here? You see what I mean? So the early investors, people who are part of that early circle, right, who invested for that idea, they've made the biggest amount of gains when he went from 900 to 9 billion, right? Yes, that's when they made the money. But all the other latecomers, right, who got involved later, all they've been doing is feeding the bottom. It's like a Ponzi scheme. Except on this Ponzi, MicroStrategy still, or let's just say, because there's a difference, we have to make a differentiation. MicroStrategy is the one who sold the paper shares, but Michael Saylor is getting rich. So he wins. Do you know what I mean? That's why I don't talk about him as much, right? I don't see him as as I said, I respect him for what he's been doing and all the exposure and all of that thing he's doing. I don't see a bad thing, right? But ultimately, all of this has benefited him the most, more than anybody else. You know what I mean? He's the one who's benefiting. So if the shares are dumping right now, the paper's dumping, right? People are wiping their asses with it, right? Excuse my language. That's because it's just paper. People see right through him right now. They're like, hold on, you took our money, gave us a bunch of freaking paper while you're sitting on the real BTC. What the hell? Right? That's what's going on, I believe. So, And I'm sure he's shorting it as well. Obviously, if he's dropping and he sees it, he's going to short the whole crap out of it, right? And then what he's going to do, you know, when we go into a bear market, he's going to come up with a whole brand new strategy. No pun intended. He's going to come out with some brand new strategy, and he's going to be like, right, we're going to do this now. We're going to have put Ethereum on our balance, and then he's going to try and get a whole bunch of people to come in and do that. Because Ponzi, they always come back, right? It's a pyramid scheme. They always come back. So I think he's going to recycle. Ryan says PDX coin, the hidden only true commodity, oil, crypto. Look, it's at its 2-year chart. Who's buying, and then the fact it's being hidden and buried in searches tells PDX was 20, now 200. I don't know about PDX, but there's I think most of my guys that know, there's a coincidence here. I mean, you talking about PDX, there was a coin that I was working on called PDX. The company was called Paradexes. So when I saw that, I'm thinking, is this guy talking about my PDX? But I haven't launched. Did somebody else launch it? I don't know. So I'm not going to make any comments on that. Anyway, Maxim says, yeah, I was. That's why I'm saying that. MU dropping 30% in a week. It's fine. There's no harm in that. Look, end of the day, even stock, bonds and shares, if they drop, there are multiple other, probably, you know, as I said, when they're looking at certain things, it doesn't make sense anymore. People are looking at it, they're like, oh, look, we've made 20% while you make 400%. You know what I mean? There's multiple factors involved, right? It could be one of his competitors who are dumping on him, right? But ultimately, whether someone pumps or dumps, and I want you to understand this clearly, right? Regardless what coin, what commodity, what asset you're looking at, what kind of market you're in, regardless, when something pumps, someone loses, right? So when something pumps, someone's going to make money, someone's going to lose money. When something dumps, it's the same, right? Someone's going to make money, someone's going to lose money. One hand has to take and the other has to give, right? That's the rule. You don't just have imaginary money. There's no imaginary money. It's like, oh, we're going to just make imaginary. We don't have imaginary money, right? Even crypto, right? Even though technically it's imaginary money. Let me explain, right? So when you go, you stick your computer on, boom, 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 you mine one, right? Oh, it's imaginary money. Look, I just got like today, what, $95,000 right now, BTC. If you mine a BTC, boom, I got $95,000 just handed over to me, right? Imaginary money. Now I can sell it and make $95,000. Correct. That's imaginary money. However, in order to mine that one Bitcoin, right, the amount of resources that goes in, the amount of electricity, the amount of all the other crap that goes in, right? And then even on that, you might not get the whole BTC, right? You've got to be really lucky to get that. But the amount of resources actually balances it out. So you've probably spent 90 grand to make 95 grand. So how much did you really make? Do you know what I mean? So I'm just being hypothetical here. I'm not giving you the correct number. It could be you spent nothing and you got one for free. Good luck, right? And there are some people who are actually doing that. But just the point I'm trying to make here. So think about it, you know, in order for a stock to rise in price, people have to buy. And then in order for that stock to continue rising, more people have to buy. But at some stage, someone has to take profit. And hence why I always say this, if you don't take profit, somebody else will, right? So if you found a coin that's pumping and doing, like, you know, it's gone 10x right now, great. Take your profit. That's all I'm going to say. Take your profit. Take your initial out. Then at least you're not hurt. Right? I always say this. Make sure to take your initial investment out. Right? If you get the opportunity, take it out. You know, don't stick around. Don't hold on to it. In fact, earlier on this video as well, right in the beginning, we talked about it as well. We said, like, there are some meme coins where we made XYZ, we made like 20x. So you're talking about something doing 10x. We had a meme coin the other day make 20x. 20x. That's 2,000%. Right? That's like $100. That's like $20. Your $20 being worth $400. So that happens in a day. That happens in a day. So think about it, right? But stocks are quite difficult. Like, not difficult, but when you look at them, you've got to look at them in a do not compare stocks with crypto. They're just not the same thing. You know, a stock, all of us, you know, to grow, they grow 2%, 3%, 4%, whatever, you know, week on week or maybe month on month, they'll grow. They grow very slowly. They don't go hyper parabola, right? But when they dump hard, because some big whale out there with a big stash of cash, right? A big pot of stocks, they will dump, right? Because he wants to cash out. So what, right? He'll cash out. So, one man's loss is another man's gain. We gotta be honest about that. Honestly, I don't see anything wrong with that. If it's not you, it's gonna be somebody else. So if you're still holding, I've got no comments. If you're still here, let me know, guys. It's been a while. Yeah, crypto's doing okay. Market's doing fine. I don't see much of an issue. Honestly, I don't see much of an issue. We're still at $3.19 trillion. So remember, I will start panicking a little bit, maybe get a little bit worried, and look at the charts a little bit more closer if we get to $3 trillion. BTC, not concerned. As I said, 90,000, I'm not concerned. 90,000 is a good number. It's a good number. It still gives us a higher week than before, and the trend is completely valid, right? So we have a good solid trend. I wouldn't complain about that. Say is definitely on a tear today. It's at 59 cents. If Say closes where it is today, then that's a positive thing for Say, and I think next week we can actually even try for the $1, right? And as soon as Say goes to $1, it's in price discovery. So understand this, guys. I know some exchanges were selling it a bit higher, but I think that's the launch price. $1 is like the launch price. So if Say can get to its launch price, then it's brand new, fresh price discovery. Say, from what I've seen, what I've observed, because remember, I'm a big fan of Say. I've had Say from a long time ago, right? I've been buying and selling the whole thing last couple of years, well, last whole year actually. I believe Say could actually outperform in price wise Sui. I'm not even joking. I think Say, SEI, that coin, can outperform Sui in price discovery, because Sui just recently done its price discovery and it's at $3 something, which is great. Finally went and tested a few bunch of supports and holding support, which is great. So it's got momentum. If it's got momentum, it can move up, probably even go to $3, $4, $5, $6, whatever, right? I haven't looked at the numbers, so take this with a pinch of salt. But I've got this feeling, because of the way I've seen how Say moves, like how Say can do 10% every day of something, like pumps are quite hard on Say. I've got a feeling this can actually outperform Sui in price. But it's just my gut feeling. No financial advice here. Obviously, you do what you want to do, right? Buy whatever you want to buy. It's your money. Go and burn it for all I care, right? If you want me to be there and do a live stream while you're burning your money, let me know. I'll come over, as long as it's in UK. I mean, unless it's abroad, it doesn't matter. You can call me. You can pay for my travel costs, and I'll come abroad and I'll film you, right? Why not? We go viral, right? We go burn money and we do it. Why not? So yeah, that would be nice. So if you're still here, guys, let me know, please. So if there's anything else, let me know. If not, then I'm not going to drag this too long. It's been a while. What, 1 hour? It's been 1 hour, guys. Come on, 1 hour. I hope you're enjoying the content. I hope you guys are enjoying the live stream and this new format as well that we're doing. And yeah, please do consider smashing that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like the kind of content that we do. This is just raw content. This is just real stuff, right? Nothing's been scripted. Whatever you guys are asking me on screen is what I'm literally answering, right? So yeah, we could have a bit of fun like this. If that's the kind of stuff you like, consider subscribing. If not, that's not a problem as well. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. My name is Sham. This is Zero X Files. The truth is always out there. These videos are there, so at some stage we can come back and we can look back. Maybe I've said something here that is wrong. Maybe I've offended somebody. If I have, I apologize. But I'm trying not to. You know what I mean? And I don't like wars, right? I just don't like wars and politics. I don't like them. It drives me mad, and I start becoming a little bit emotional because I just don't see the justice in all of this. Honestly, there's no justice. It's just wrong. I guess there's no more questions, right? So I'm waiting. I'm not seeing any questions, unless the chat is messed up. I'm not seeing any questions, anything. So I'm not going to make this any longer, guys. I do appreciate all of you guys for coming here. Big shout out to all of you guys. I think I've called your names out as I've read the messages. So yeah, I'm not going to go through, or shall I? Actually, no, I will. I'm going to say, SMKR, Mr. Badass, Coston, Faisal, Bubble, Maxim, uh, Maxim, and then we got Vladon, Daniel, and then we've got Ryan. All of you guys, thank you very, very much for coming to the show. I do appreciate that. And please, let's catch up on another one, and hopefully we have some better subjects we can talk about. As I said, I hope I didn't offend anybody. This is a live stream, right? If I have, what are you going to do about it, right? Smash that like button, hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Other than that, let's enjoy. That's the most important thing. Most people don't have a great life, and even if they do have a great life, there's always some shit in life, right? Everyone's got some problems, right? So just take on the chin, happy days, just laugh it off. Do you know what I mean? That's all I can say. Other than that, adios, my amigos.